seeing. I think you're seeing because it is primarily annuity based.
Fair enough. Mr. Mundra, now for your word on this. Unfortunately, I started with roads. Maybe as Srini says, I should start with power, but we are getting to it in 1 minute. In roads, basically the trigger that clearly was visible in the stock markets, you know, shares of Nagarjuna Construction went up 12%, IRB went up 8%, and all the banking space, your bank in particular is up 20% in a week, Mr. Mundra. The underlying assumption of investors is that probably things that would have gone bad will now not go bad because the NHAI chairman has allowed them to pay the money back later. Your comment on road exposures is the worst over?
Yeah, of course, Lata, I think your question is encompassing both the road sector and the larger overall direction. But first let me start with you. Nothing wrong in starting with the road, because if you have to commence a journey, you have to come on the road only. So you have done a very right thing. Nothing wrong in that.
Okay.
No, see, I'll extend what Srini was mentioning. As a matter of fact, you know, if we see the infra story of past few years, there were two major sectors, power and road. If I reflect at my portfolio, I think at least the story thus far, the power was more affected sector, road was not so much affected. Of course, fact remains that a number of projects were still under commencement, and the whole issue was that if you look at the scenario today and run a stress test, then probably there was a possibility that some of these projects may face the cash flow crunch. For both the regions, delay in the projects, but also because of the slowing economy, the traffic, the load coming down and the cash flow getting affected. That was the position. But, you know, at this point of time, if I look at the portfolio, I don't think that the position of road portfolio in NPL formation was in a situation as the power portfolio had been.
Fair enough.
So, going forward now, of course, with the premium is one thing. If we look at if the macro picture improves, if the growth rate is to revive, then traffic projections may also improve. But one thing which I fully agree with Srini, the whole road project, or for that matter any infra project, obviously the life of project and the cash flow 20-25 years, which for the purpose of, you know, financing, they get compressed into 10 to 12 years. And if sensitivity has to change on few parameters, then it becomes a problem, and then, you know, the NPL formation and those kind of issues come. I think while takeout is one route, but takeout is an entirely different kind of structure.
Yeah.
My personal feeling is, and I have argued at a few forums, just let me complete,
yes,
that there is a strong case when project life is 20-25 years, there is a merit that a tail can be allowed to left, let's say 10 years from now, and with a strong belief that at that point of time this tail can be refinanced. If the project has run and repaired for 10 years, there is no reason to believe why it cannot be refinanced at that point of time, and the second phase of repayment can commence. I think that will take care of a lot of problems which we are facing today. Okay,
let me come back to now the power sector, since you know, the problem is larger and the government's efforts started earlier. What is your sense now, purely in terms of the situation at hand? Have the number of NPLs started declining, or do you think that you know, you will see some more NPLs in that sector before things plateau out?
The power sector, of course, as I did mention that there were problems were more in power sector, but in power sector it will be very difficult to equate the entire power sector under one bracket, because there were many kinds of you know, division within that. One clear segment which is you know, can be signaled out is the power projects which were based on gas. Now that is one segment where I think resolution is still some time ahead. It is not going to happen tomorrow. That is one thing. Within thermal there were a number of varieties. The you know, domestic allocation, the mix of domestic and imported, the one who are having the captive mines. So there were a variety of factors. But fact remains that 2-3 things which has happened. Number one, the you know, recent revision of tariff, the kind of policy direction which has come. The second thing is the restructuring of SEBs, and some of them have started moving in the framework which was decided. Some of the minings getting cleared. I think all these factors, if I put together, my sense is that the fear which we were having about that the magnitude of problem would be lower than what it was being felt, a quarter back or 2 quarter back. Saying that it doesn't mean that there won't be a problem.
Okay.
There would be still project-specific problems, but the magnitude on an overall portfolio basis would certainly be diluted.
Now, are you saying that fresh NPLs will be created but slowly, or are you saying that the total stock of NPLs you have will start receding?
No, it will be both things. Number one, the stock of NPA as the projects start, come on the stream, some of those may get out of the NPL position. But to say that there won't be at all a new NPL formation, probably it will be little too early to believe that. There could still be occasional cases, and as I said, the sector specific or the raw material specific, which may still have some problems on hand.
Okay. Well, just one more question to Ramraj, and after that we have to take a break. Ramraj, in the specific area of power and roads, in CRISIL's own rating, what is the rating situation? More upgrades, more downgrades?
Yeah, so I think in both of these sectors, as of now, we do see definitely more downgrades than upgrades. And as I was trying to say earlier on, before Srini and Mundra Saab joined, was that, there are several policy level issues which need to be sorted out in both the sectors. And I think, as has been pointed out, we are much ahead on the road side compared to on the power side compared to on the road side. So I think as of now we see far many more downgrades. We aren't really seeing
far many more downgrades in which? In both sectors? In both
the sectors we are seeing far many more downgrades. The issues could be different, definitely in the two sectors, but clearly today we see far many more downgrades. And our estimate is that it will be a while before we start seeing upgrades in the sector.
In power,
I think we will have to solve...
No, Ramraj, in power sector, you are not seeing a decrease in downgrades also?
Yeah, I think, what will happen is that slowly over the next...
Ramraj, I'm not asking you what will happen. No, I'm not asking you what will happen.
Yeah.
Power sector reforms have been underway for some time now. Any improvement on the ground in terms of lessening?
We are not seeing. No, not really. Okay. Not really, not yet. It's too early.
All right. Okay, then perhaps the market is smelling a recovery 9 months down the line. We'll take a break on this note. We are back with more questions. Export performance, project exports have improved, and there have been some early hopes that capex cycles will start at least in minor irrigation projects. Some state governments have started giving orders. So how is that cycle looking? All that with our guests in a minute.